Big Mike.
DJ, you done broke my entire.
What it do, YouTube? It's your boy DJ, and we are back with another episode of Off the Plizank. Gonna be a banging episode, dope episode, man. We got some heavy hitters in the building, man. Some well-respected people. You know what I'm saying? Definitely respect these folks, man. They got a lot of knowledge in the game, and they're definitely here to give some to give it that experience, man, and to teach. You know what I'm saying? We're students of the game. We're here to learn. You know what I'm saying? We all learn from each other every day. So I definitely want y'all to kick back, relax, and definitely soak in all this knowledge that we're going to be giving upon on this panel. So it's going to be a good time. We're going to have jokes, all that good stuff. Y'all already know how we do over here at OTP. But first and foremost, if you are here for the first time, please make sure that you are hitting that like button. Make sure that you are hitting that replay, #replay gang if this is your first time checking it out. Definitely appreciate that. And drop a comment, man. Let us know what y'all thought about the episode as it continues. We definitely appreciate everybody that taps in with us, man. We definitely appreciate that. Without further ado, let me start bringing out some of these folks, man. I got to bring out my fan band first. You know what I'm saying? For sure. Got to bring out some of these people. I might not just bring out everybody at one time. Y'all think I should do that? Just bring out everybody at one time? Since we're already so late, I'm going to just do that anyway. So without further ado, coming to the stage right after I pay. Shout out to Great Rider Reptiles, one of the leading share testing brands in this hobby, as well as breeders of the ball python community. They have numerous tests ranging from the yellow belly morph to morphs like Sunset and are growing every day. If you're wanting to find out the genetics of your ball python, just send it in to Great Rider Reptiles and they'll take care of it. Their website is www.sharetesting.com. Let them know that I sent you. Hey man, shout out to the unofficial sponsor of the channel, K Joseph. Rising B-list celebrity in this hobby, KG got that all-around great knowledge, and he's also a great guy. If y'all aren't in the Patreon, it's a problem. And as always, it ain't a project unless you put a bomb in it. Oh yeah, and make sure you send the link. Shout out to BNS Reptilia, distributor of coconut substrate, The Chipper, and their premium coconut substrate, Cocoa to Go. BNS prides themselves on immaculate customer service and always putting their customers first. You can reach BNS Reptilia on Instagram for your substrate needs. Tell them that I referred you. And once again, thank you for being a sponsor, BNS. We appreciate you. Yeah, I know that shit was random, but it's just what I had up there. Shout out to all the sponsors, everybody in the back, everybody that's cracking the hell up. Shout out to the sponsors, man. Y'all might have to unmute yourselves. I had to mute y'all because I can hear y'all on the stage. But shout out to the panel. I appreciate all y'all tapping in tonight. I know we had all these technical difficulties. Shout out to Timu, StreamYard.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace, baby.
Yeah. That's why we switched streaming services. So we back to the old faithful. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, I guess they say.
I just feel like flexing right now because we're back on stream.
What happened to Big Mike go?
Yeah, I'm about to say.
I don't know. Mike tapped out.
Damn it, Mike.
He saw the power of HRA and he had to go.
His mic was sounding muffled, so he might restart himself.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. That's how.
Yeah, man. So like I said, we got some heavy hitters on here. Like I said, we got One and only the OG, the big advance in the building. What it do, OG? How you feeling?
Having a good day. Woke up, you know.
I appreciate you for tapping in with us, man, and gracing us with your presence. We also got the one and only Miss Tommy of Inky Clouds in the building. How you doing, Tommy?
Doing all right. Doing all right.
All right,
Happy
all
to
right,
be
all right.
here.
We'll appreciate you for tapping in as well. I know we had technical difficulty we don't normally have. I'm lying like shit, but and I also got I gotta shout out my boy Rodney. We'll keep calling you Rodney. I ain't calling you Rock no more. We're calling you Rodney. I appreciate you for
God
tapping in
damn,
as well,
man.
my boy.
I'm just happy I ain't committed a crime, 'cause, boy. You just said my government name.
It is. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. But I appreciate you. And I also gotta welcome my crew, Brandon, Ron, and Banner. I appreciate y'all for always tapping in with me every week as well. And the greatest chat in the world. Appreciate y'all for tapping in as well. We gonna I mean as we I see all the people that's in here, I'm gonna tell y'all what's up as we going on, but we just gonna get straight into it because I'm already behind as it is. So like I said, this episode is gonna be mainly about learning. We're gonna be learning, getting some information, and taking it up and grinding it and making it your own, and just keep going with it. So, I wish Big Mike was on here so we can kind of get how Big Mike is, but he'll tap in when he's ready.
Yeah.
So, first and foremost, let's get straight into it. So, let's talk about breeding plans and what it takes to be successful in this hobby. I'm pretty sure that with the experiences and what's the word I'm looking for? Things that y'all have been through. Oh, there you go. Tommy Levance and Big Mike is coming to the stage whenever his screen loads up. I'm pretty
He's coming.
I'm pretty sure with
Evie
the
Monk's killed
experience.
everything, man.
Yeah, it messed me all the way up. Big Mike, you there?
Big Mike.
I'm there.
Yeah.
All
Let's
right, man. I
go.
appreciate you for tapping in as well, Big Mike. All the way across the pond, my brother from another mister.
You're very
But,
welcome, brother. You're very welcome. Thank
so
you for
yeah, so what I
inviting me.
was
Nice to be here.
I appreciate that. Finally, right? Because you keep telling me that I don't ever invite you, but it is.
There
It's
it
my
is.
first invitation. I've been
Yeah.
blessed with my first invitation as well.
This ain't your first invitation. You got a whole segment on last season with KG. You just don't recall it. But we're gonna go with that. This year, I appreciate y'all though. Definitely want to get y'all on here more often, man. Definitely want to get y'all on here more often. People need to see it.
Working on my mental health. So you got
I don't know.
You got to work on that mental, right? So, okay, so the first question I kind of want to start off with, and everybody on the panel can answer, but we're gonna start with the main guest first. What direction are you currently taking your breeding projects, and how do you go about orchestrating those plans? I don't know who want to take over first. I'll blow you up, make you big, and everything. So, who
ladies
want to
first.
answer first?
I don't want to be big. I don't want to be big when I'm talking. I'll let whoever talk.
Well, we gotta go
No,
ladies.
I don't need music. I'm all right on the
No,
music screen with everybody.
All right, I'm gonna let y'all stay like this, so that way y'all won't feel like y'all just a front and center. How about that?
There you go. There you go.
Keep everybody comfortable.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, who want to take off first? Who want to go first?
I'll talk about it first, I guess. So right now I'm trying to pare down to some of my projects because I definitely got way too big too fast. I have not been breeding ball pythons for a long time, but I've been breeding reptiles for a long time, and I really underestimated the amount of space I would need in order to keep up with all the projects that I wanted to do. So I'm trying to pare back to cryptic, hypo, desert ghost, and paint and tri-stripe as my 5 projects that I'm trying to work with right now.
Roll time.
Nice.
What about all the monsoon you got for me?
Oh yeah, monsoon. I have like 30 plus monsoon animals. I forget about that.
Oh, I've only
I
got
definitely
30. Oh, yeah.
yeah, I'm definitely doing a bit of monsoon. Well, I'm not trying to keep it under wraps. It's just like I don't really have anything produced in that yet. I mean, I have a lot of het animals from last year, quad het animals from last year. So I definitely have been sacrificing making visuals for trying to push my projects to get some girls to grow up. Because a lot of the stuff that I'm trying to do, either the people that are doing it also are not selling their animals, or I haven't found other people doing the same mixes yet. So I'm having to
When
make
you
a lot of my own hets.
when it's like grew too fast, was there like a moment, like an aha moment, like, oh, this is just growing too fast, or did it just like you just like gradually notice it and then slim down?
Um, I think this season was my big moment. Really, I replaced a lot of my racks, and I don't have a very large space. I'd say my space is probably like 10 by 18. It's not super huge. And I don't really want to outgrow it. But this season, because I've made a lot of things that I want to hold back, I'm figuring out that I can't keep everything that I have right now and hold everything back that I want to hold back. And so I'm going to have to clear out some projects to make space for the things that I'm more passionate about. Because I really don't want to breed things that I don't want to keep.
Gotcha. That make a lot of
I
sense.
feel
What
that with
about
my
you?
Yeah,
soul.
it's like a bit of a juggling act, right? And you know as well, Tommy, that sometimes you have to go a little bit bigger in the beginning in order to establish your projects, and then once you get a certain way up the road, you can come down. I'm certainly doing that now. That I went a little harder in the first few years because I needed to get ahead of my game. And now I
Mm-hmm.
feel that I've got myself a little bit more tuned in. I can afford to just downsize the numbers and work more on the quality, you know?
That actually
Yeah, for
makes a lot of
sure.
sense.
For sure. Yeah, and I think there's projects that I thought I was going to be more into that now that I've been doing it for a little bit, I'm just not as passionate about them. So it's not that I don't enjoy the projects, it's just that I have a limited space, so which is actually very good for me because otherwise I'd just go nuts if I had too much space, honestly. I'd have way too many animals.
Gotcha. What
But
about you,
we all
Mike?
kind of do that as well, right? That not a lot of people are really into what they thought they'd be into when they came into the hobby. As we progress and as we kind of see a little bit more and a little bit more, we change direction a little bit because we realized that actually that project that we were interested in the beginning is not the be all and end all, that there are something a little bit different, a little bit more that we prefer, right?
Yeah, and I
Yeah,
think
that's
that
funny too.
also. Oh, go ahead.
Because I was gonna say because that's 100% true. Because my favorite thing when I first started was G stripe, and I had a good amount of it. Now I have zero.
Yeah, yeah. I think that one of the things I've also run into is that I have a lot of very focused females, and I need to get some females that aren't focused, like meaning like I need some things that have a lot of incomplete dominance in them and maybe zero hets because I want to be able to add incomplete dominance into my projects that I might not have already, but I don't want to add like another het into the play. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
sometimes I don't have a lot of females that I can do extra stuff with, I feel like.
Yeah, I found that a bit tricky. As you get further and further in, you think, well, hang on, that thing's already got a hit attached to it or a visual attack. Now it's hard to find codoms to bring into a certain project that aren't already attached to a certain project, right?
Right, yeah. And so like if you have a like say I have a het lab female that has like all the incomplete dominance I want, but I want to work it in or work those into a hypo project. I don't want to put that in there. It just doesn't make sense. I'm not trying to go all willy-nilly and try to offload an animal that has hets that don't make sense. That's like breeding a super leopard to a piebald or a super lesser to a piebald. Like who needs that? So,
The
Gotcha.
selection's important,
yeah, for sure. For sure.
and knowing how they interact.
So
That's
what
what I think a
about you,
lot
That
of
Big
is
people
Mike?
all
mix.
true.
What about you, Big Mike? What direction you taking your breeding projects in?
Uh, Clown, Ultramal, Hypo, Pain is going to be the new one that we add soon. But ultra male clowns with hypo attached is my sort of my thing, and I kind of want to add paint along the way because I'm a clown fan. I know a lot of people are hating on the clown nowadays, and I know that in a way I get it. The clown market is a little bit saturated, but all that means is that you have to work in a more intelligent way, in a more unique way, in order not to be making what everybody else is making, which actually is harder to do in clown than a lot of the other projects because it's so further advanced, right? But you
Mhm.
know, that's why I like the paint because it works well with the clown. So I can add another recessive in with the clown. So, but my goal animal would be like a 3-4 gene hypo ultra male paint clown. But yeah, check back in about 10 years and we'll see if we got there.
Exactly.
Ain't that the truth?
OG, what about you?
Well, to me,
You know it.
y'all already know I
Yeah,
like.
what are you talking about? He's not going to tell you nothing. He's just
I
going
know
to tell you that that's all he's going to tell you. What's the matter?
Hey, y'all already know I'm a big fan of DG. So I figure if I stay in my lane and work from my strengths, then I know I'm a little comfortable in that. You see so many people making different stuff. I
Mhm.
just feel like I need to strengthen what I got and try to get myself down the road a little bit farther and making the combos and making the super forms. I think that's going to take a lot of oxygen out of people because they won't be able to sustain that altitude. You know what I mean? So
Mm,
if you push yourself a little bit to go a little further down, then it's going to take it's not easy to get super forms in those combos. So I'm trying
I
to make
agree.
form in the combos, not just touch it one time. So my strategy is a little bit different. You know what I mean? And I purposely try to do different from what I see other people doing. Right now Cypress, um, Black Pastel is hot, Hypo is hot, DG is hot. I'm a big fan of Ultramel too, but
Yeah, he is.
but I try to move, quietly on that because then when other people see you going that way, they take off going that way. But my my strategy is to put something just a little simple into it to make it a little different. So my animal looks better than
Sometimes less is more, right? Some people want to stack these 5-6 genes together, and realistically, it's too much.
yeah.
It's overkill. You have the right 3-4 genes, the right 2-3 genes, and sometimes it's enough. Everybody's seen those ultra male clowns that Levant's made recently. They're not like no 5 gene combos. They're fairly not
Simple.
simple, but they've
Yeah.
only got few genes in them, but they work really well and they're amazing looking animals. When Levant showed me those, I said to him, like, how am I supposed to make anything that's better than that? Because those are some of the best ultramale clowns I've ever seen.
And
Nice.
basically what I did with those were I went back to the beginning days when I purchased my super stripes from Mark Haas. And I don't know if you guys were in the industry at that point. It was a certain line of yellow belly that we used to make some of the super stripes look different from the ones that everybody else had. So when I'm studying genes, I look for those subtle things that I know to alter the pattern, to change things before I just jump into doing it. And sometimes, even with the animals that I have, I breed them a year in advance just to see the interaction of them, to see if that's what I'm really looking for before I even put it into my project. A lot of people are in the fast track and they hurry up to get down there and they're making the norm. You know what I mean? Like that. That's what was going to give me the advantage because I feel like if I come to bring something different to the table, we might have a lot of the same animals that projects that we're working in, but I want to be able to throw something just a little bit different, and that'll make that person see my animal just a little different. That's all. You know.
That makes sense. They kind of led into the next thing I was gonna ask, which is basically how do y'all go about deciding which animal makes the cut? You know what I'm saying? Every season, like as far as like what you want to breed and stuff like that. But you pretty much kind of hit the nail on the head for what you do. As far as like breeding it early and figuring out, okay, well, I like how this interaction is. I'm gonna go ahead and add more to it. So what about the rest of y'all on the panel?
Well, listen, I gotta go, y'all. I'm about to kick it back. So, but
All right.
appreciate you having me
Appreciate
on,
you.
man. Y'all all be safe, be easy.
Appreciate you.
One
Brother.
day, one day, Levan's gonna let me know, some stuff. He just don't let us know nothing. He just...
Don't let him.
One.
But remember, y'all. Remember, I'm making pastel great again. Just always remember that.
Appreciate you,
All
bro.
right, y'all. Yeah.
All right, bro.
But yeah, like I was saying, so how do y'all go about deciding like what combinations and stuff like that make the cut for the seed? Like you want to continue to keep going with that, like when it comes to making y'all breeding plans.
Well, like Levan says, you kind of take a look at what's going on out there, and then you kind of personally, I want to go in a slightly different direction as to what everybody else is doing, right? Like, don't hate on me, but black pastel's so overworked as an 8-ball complex gene. Cinnamon's overworked as an 8-ball complex gene, and there's a couple of 8-ball complex genes out there that they make better supers. They're not wacky. They don't freak out. Their supers not completely black. Spot nose, super overworked. There's got to be a better way of doing it. Actually, funny enough, very strangely, they are over on Keys' network tonight. They're talking about Hurricane, and they haven't even got Mr. Hurricane over there talking about it, which is kind of like mad for me. But like the Hayabusa, like Levant says about supers, right? You have Hayabusas, you have a Hayabusa on each side, and the right combos with it, and you put it together, so you're always going to hit that Hayabusa. You're not going to go far wrong, right? You're really not.
Yeah, Huffman's a really awesome 8-ball complex.
I was about to say that.
looks amazing in hypo too. It pulls so many oranges in hypo.
Yeah.
There it is.
It's like it's literally like the hidden gem in that complex that nobody sees.
Huffman.
Yeah, it's weird.
I've been saying Huffman for a while. Huffman, man, I remember when DJ first showed me a Huffman, I was like, bro, you need to push that. You need to push that.
Yeah, I thought I had a female. It turned out to be a male. So shit. You still here?
Still could have been pushing it. That thing, you had it for like 3 years. That thing could have been the new.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For me, the thing is with that though is just trying to figure out what combination, what route I want to take there, but I don't want to do the same thing that everybody else might be doing or majority is doing. That's all that is.
That's the thing, DJ, right? If you look at some of the top 10 combos out there, they're all with black pastel, they're all with yellow belly, they're all with spot nose. So you just swap out the black pastel for either Huffman or lace black back, as you guys know it, HRA. Now you've changed it slightly. You swap out the yellow belly for gravel or Spectre. Now you can super it if you want, and the snake's not going to be all white. And you can swap out the spot nose for Hurricane or Stranger or Acid.
Yeah, I mean, swapping out Huffman or HRA, there was going to be 2 very different projects if you're going for super. So you got to make sure you're paying attention to that also, because the super Huffman looks like a really nice black pastel, and the super HRA looks like
I got a quick question for you guys. When you're doing your pairings, right? Do you pair for like like Levance was saying, like how you get the supers. Do you pair to better your odds, or do you pair to just hope that you hit something in the pairing? I don't know if I'm asking the question quite right.
I think I understand what you're
How
saying.
do you better
It
your?
really,
How do you plan on bettering your odds? I guess is a better way to put it.
I mean, I breed, like, I think because, like I was saying, like, for me personally, I breed, so I have the females growing up, and then I breed for bettering odds later on because I'll have better animals 2 years down the road to put to those females.
Well, I look at it two different ways. The females, for me, I try to have multiple females. And when I say multiple, with recessives, I try to at least have 5 females because you might send 2 to do the project or do what you expect, but somebody might reabsorb. You know, anything can happen. But one of my biggest strategy is trying to get my females in decent, with decent weight on them to where they can produce at least 10 eggs or so for me. 10 to 12 eggs is what I try to do. And sometimes you have to give them 3 years to get them to the size, or 2 years, 2.5 years to get them to the size you want them to be at before you start pairing them. But I'm willing to take that chance to wait a little bit. I'm for them to get to that size. But 9 times out of 10, in about less than 2 years or 2 years, I can get them to like 2,500 grams. If I feed them, on a consistent, like. But it's different strategies. I try to bring the odds in my favor that way, than have more than one female. So,
Yeah, that's pretty much like the way I was looking for the question to be answered. I appreciate that.
Because the more eggs you have in a project, the more chances you have of hitting that goal animal, right? And if you've got some supers knocking around, some allelic combos, on both sides, and then you're guaranteed, to hit like another allelic combo because you've got an allelic on one side and an allelic on the other. So it's always going to give you those 2 genes straight away. But it's not always easy to line up that way, and sometimes you've got to take the risk, swing for the fences. We all know that the odds game 100%. Can go work in your favor or smack you in the face. You got to get the girl up to weight. She's got to lay a viable clutch. The eggs have got to make it full term. Then you've got to get the genetic lineup you want. Then they've got to be the sex that you want. People
It's
dreaming
so much.
about I'm gonna hit this, and this. Yeah, sit and wait in the corner because it ain't always going to be like that. Sometimes you can have 2-3 goes at it, have 10 eggs in it, 15 eggs in it, and still not get what you want.
That is the truth.
That's some shitty odds. If you got 15 eggs, and you don't hit shit.
4 clutches so far this year. I haven't hit the snake I wanted yet out of any of them.
What's your snake you trying to hit?
I was trying to hit the Cinnamon Dark Knight, and I missed on that clutch. The first clutch, I was trying to hit a Scrambler Calico, which I did hit it, but it died coming out of the egg. Ooh. And then the other clutches, I was trying to hit some funky Mandarin stuff, but I mostly got pastel.
Don't feel bad, Tommy.
What's that?
I said, don't feel bad, Tommy. You had a bad experience this year, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, you never know what's going to happen with that. You can definitely have babies come out and die right after they come out, for sure. So the other thing that I wanted to add is that like getting a female big doesn't necessarily always mean you're going to get a big clutch either. I have like an over 3,000 gram het tri female who refuses to give me more than 6 eggs. No matter how much I feed her, how little I feed her, no matter what, she just gives me 6 giant eggs. So they're like 100-gram eggs, or 100-gram babies when they come out of the egg. But she's big, and that's all I've ever gotten out of her.
Yeah. Typically, I send 5 females to do the, because then I can ultrasound, keep an eye on them. If I see the follicles developing the right way. maybe I need to add number 3 into the pairings, you know, opposed to just sending 2 females to do the job. It's tricky with these females. I tell you, they're really absorbed, so it's a lot of steps, you know, to get to where you're trying to get to, you know. And sometimes, you know, sometimes you even question, you know, sending 2, you send 3 or more. You know what I mean? That's my typical thing with especially with these recessive doubles, and you know, less is more. I'm finding to be less is more. All these people that's going for these triples and all that, they can forget it. You know what I mean? We're talking about years, 15 years. It's gonna take some of.
It's a long project.
Yeah, and it's
Exactly. You have to spend some big dollar.
yeah, you're gonna need more than 1 female to do it. You know what I mean? It's just
I think
just
I think
part
that
of
the side of things that everybody ain't showing, like when people do hit the triple, if they do hit triple recessives, they're not showing that you had to have this amount of females or this amount of tries before they actually hit that. So people just think, okay, well, damn, they did it this season. You know what I'm saying? I can probably do it this season. You know, but a lot of
What
people,
about
for
the
sure.
guys that hit them? The guys that hit them and don't show them because they don't like the way they look.
that,
well,
Yeah.
don't like the way they look.
that's
I
real.
got
Yeah.
It's real.
with that same question, can we reel y'all's answer back to the people who don't have what y'all have? Like, it's a lot of people that want, like, y'all have this stuff to where you can't go find anything to match to what you got. So you have to make your own stuff to try to make your odds better. But would you suggest that the people who can possibly purchase to try and make their odds better should go that route? Or should they still try to build it and grow out these 5 females and stuff like that? Like, which route could possibly, because y'all, I feel like y'all are in cruise control right now. Me personally, I feel like y'all in cruise control. Y'all have the stuff that.
No, that's not true.
No, you
That's
got
not
this
true,
wrong.
Brandon.
No.
That's true. That's
That's not
true.
true, bro.
When I say,
That's
all right,
not
so when I
true.
say cruise control, what I mean by that is the stuff that y'all look at and say, nah, that's not true, is the stuff that we'll purchase and be like, yes, that's gonna take me to the next level.
Yeah, but you got to open your mind a little bit more than what you see. You got to first start there and what you vision before you decide on picking off of what you see somebody else do. I think that's what the biggest problem for the industry is right now, is because they get caught up into these titles. Stop trying to chase the clout and chase the project. Do the work. And the results is gonna show.
That's the thing, right? It's all about the work.
Yeah, the ultra male. The prime example. You know, like I said, I'm a big fan of DG, but the reason I like to work ultra male because I don't want nobody to be thinking that's my only ace that I'm holding. You know what I mean? I'm trying to be versatile in what the stuff that I like to work at. So you can catch me trying to do something, you know, 2 years later, and you didn't even know that I was doing it. You know what I mean? That's the objective. The objective is to be creative and spend that time with your, you know, in your snake room, in projects. You know, like I spent a lot of time looking on MorphMarket, just looking at different things, and I put them underneath my counter. I mean, I got females in my counter that's adults that I haven't even bred yet. You know what I mean? And they probably 3 or 4 years old. You know what I mean? Before I even think about what I want to put to it. So that's how I breed. You know, I don't breed just when she's up to size. Let me run to it. You know, it's got to come to me. You know what I mean?
You
but
got to remember, well, Brandon. You got to remember as well, Brandon, that personally, this is like I've just finished season 7. Next season's going to be season 8. I've spent personally a lot of time trying to maneuver myself into a certain position in order for me to have better chances of hitting those goal animals, progressing my projects even further. And it takes time. Even if you have money, it takes time. And if you don't have a lot of money, you best get your head down and get working, because if you don't, then you're not going to achieve anything. You also need to find your direction and follow it. What happens a lot in this hobby as well is people see what somebody else is doing. All of a sudden, they want to change direction and they want to follow that guy up the road. Now, all they're doing is wasting time. You've got to put, like the van says, your own unique spin on it. Believe in what you believe in and don't let anybody tell you otherwise. You just got to get your head down and put that work in. The work will show.
If you
No,
find
so what I'm
if you find yourself peeking over in what everybody else is doing, then you're drifting off to that direction and you're not staying true to what you're trying to create. You know, that's how I see it.
No, I got that. But what I'm saying is, like, with the odds. So I just made the Hurricane Hypos. I want to make the Hayabusa Hurricane Hypo. I could do it. I got the 1.24. But from what y'all are saying is, from what I'm getting is basically I can just hold that back and make a Hayabusa Hypo. But that at the same time, to me, I realized that's not gonna push. That's gonna make me an animal I want to make. Where it's not gonna push me anywhere. So I would rather make that from talking. I think I was talking to Will about it, and he was saying you can make that as a byproduct later. So with that, I'm asking: should I continue to just push it myself to make it myself, or should I find another way to put hypo in the other projects to where once everything comes together, once the get the size.
Let me ask you
Right.
Let me ask you a quick question. Who's gonna sell you a hypo Hayabusa? Tell me that.
And nobody.
And what's going to be the price tag on that?
Yeah, no, you just answered your own question. Right now,
Yeah, what I'm saying is I can, with what y'all are saying, push the project, right?
Instead of making that animal this year, it's better to go long, right? It's better to go long. Normally, I take the best adult female clown I've got, and instead of breeding it into clown, I breed it into ultra male, or I breed it into hypo, because now I could have made some really fancy clowns with her, but where's that going to take me? It's not going to take me anywhere. I've got to go long. You can't just go short and think of that short-term goal. You have to go long. If you don't go long, you're slowing yourself down. Patience.
Yeah. So basically, by the time I get to making the Hayabusa Hypo is going to have ultra male in it, possibly cryptic in it, and other stuff.
Right.
Other chains in it, spot nose and all that. So that's what I'm saying. Does it make sense? Because if all I can have right now is just a 1.2 hypo Hurricane, does it make sense to just push just for that, or does it make sense to take that project and go somewhere else and make that animal I was thinking to make a byproduct?
No,
put those girls in under the table and hold them, and then figure it out when they later on, because there's going to be so many things that you're going to make in between now and when those girls are ready. Like, keep your girls back, sell the boys off, and you can make them again. You can make the boys again, or buy a boy that's a single gene hypo.
Look at it. It's like, look at it like this. So when you go in the cabinet, I don't know if you cook or not. Well, that's seasoning. Well, you know, if you reach underneath the counter, you grab that seasoning. So when you put that, you eat it, you just get it from underneath the counter. It'll be there. It ain't going nowhere as long as you keep feeding it growing. That's how I look at it.
That spice will always be there for you.
There you go.
Exactly. Yep.
And I don't know too many people run from Hurricane and hypo. They're gonna always love and hypo, you know. Just
it's
like
always gonna work.
Just like there's spot nose lovers out here. There's gonna be people, regardless to all of the, you know, people say I don't, you know, maybe think that I don't like spot nose. I just got my reasons for adding spot nose in. I feel like there's so many people quick to jump to put it in on the front side, and then they forget about the combos, and then they turn around and wonder why they're making white snakes. They haven't, you know, they're in a hurry. They're running to go nowhere. That's how I see it. You know what I mean? But, you know, people got to learn, you know. I had to learn. It took me a long time before I started I don't always have the answers, but I know that ain't it. You know what I mean? I just know that I don't want to take that road. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
that's what I feel.
All right. So let me ask y'all this: do y'all think, which I know y'all probably gonna have a lot to say, but do y'all think that there are any? No, because it's a good question. Are there any sleeper genes that you think will become bigger in the hobby soon?
Too many, too many.
So like what? Give me three off the top of your head. Three.
Underrated animals? You trying to?
So a gene
Pretty
that was,
much. Pretty much.
a gene that was put down a couple of years ago that's on its way back up now is mahogany, because when all that was happening with the mahogany and the stranger, and everybody found out that they weren't the same, everybody leaned towards the stranger and everybody put the mahogany down. The mahogany is a super underrated gene, and I'm working it quite hard personally. And I feel that it's like a grade 1 gene for me. You know, Levance will tell you we sit and we talk and we just discuss what we class as grade 1 genes, you know, and then the ones that we add them along the way, you know, and you know, mahogany for me is an underrated gene, underused, and one that's on its way back. Calico also underrated, underused.
I agree.
Somebody else
I
go.
agree.
I would go out on a limb and say I would say Spectre is one of them. You know what I mean? But I just started with Spectre, and I don't know if you guys seen the animal Ozzy just made. You know, and I typically don't be alley-ooping nobody, but when somebody do something, I say something. You know what I mean? But he just made some stuff with Spectre, and I think Spectre use it the right way. And if you work with that particular gene, I've worked with it a few years. And I know what it can do. They're good eaters. They very vibrant. You can pick them out of your clutch.
Yeah.
Do some.
Once
So
you hatch the few out, you can tell a Spectre from a yellow belly or gravel all day because there's got so much more vibrant color. But you know, here's the thing. The yellow belly is probably the weakest gene in that complex because it don't make good supers. You can make supers with the Spectre, supers with the gravel, supers with the asphalts, and you can add them in, but not the yellow belly.
Yeah, but I mean, not as a single gene additive, that's hard to beat.
But is it any better than the gravel or the Spectre or the asphalt? Is it better?
I mean, that's open for interpretation, I would think.
I think it depends on your
Yeah.
projects too, because we gotta keep in mind like what's better where, right? Because I mean, it depends on what projects you're working. I mean, I'm not a huge crazy
gravel
yellow-belly
tends to be
advocate,
darker, don't it?
Yeah, but
Mhm.
most people, I think that's the topic. That's what the customer, when they go to look for that special animal, that hey, I want to work with Spectre instead of gravel. You know, that's up to the person, and that's ultimately. I'd rather they go to a reptile show and look for that specific gene or animal that I'm looking for, opposed to the same as everybody else. And it can be just one of those things I bring and put underneath my counter, and nobody has to know. You know, I'm always searching around looking for little nuances. You know, sometimes I gotta go over in Europe and bring them, but a lot of times I do. You know, import different things into my collection, and that people don't even know that I got. You know what I mean? So, you know, let Kyle Hoffman tell it. He knows. You know, he knows everything, but he don't know nothing. You know what I mean? But you know, we got these few that you let. You know, you try to stick with them for a little bit in the beginning, but they know everything. But you know, the whole thing is you really got to go out here and try something You know,
So Brian, I'll give you a for instance, right? Like and the Vance is gonna smirk when I say that, like the Pompeii, right? Everybody's like, oh, the Pompeii, and now people are making Pompeii plus, yeah. But straight away, you could take that animal, you keep the red stripe in there because the red stripe's nice, yeah. Swap out the yellow belly for gravel, maybe even super gravel. Swap out the spot nose for stranger or acid, and then swap out the black pastel for Huffman or lace blackback, and now you made yourself a unique animal that is, you know, like a Pompeii, but nothing like a Pompeii.
I agree with that. I just think as yellow belly is just like an additive to something. I just personally think the added value that yellow belly has in its single form to other combinations, to me, is pretty impressive, more than some of the other genes in the complex.
I love yellow belly. It's not that I don't love yellow belly. It's just where you put it. When you bring it in, you put it in the beginning, and when you're building a project, or you put it in at the end, you know, as the finishing touch. Just think of it as though you painting. Do you want to start off with, you know what I mean, on the front
That
side?
makes sense. That makes sense.
That's
that made a lot of sense.
You know,
I mean,
that's
and I won't disagree that you have to watch your pairings after that either, because you don't want to end up with the white snake.
yeah.
Whereas with a lot of the other genes in that complex, you don't need to be concerned by that. In fact, they'll even mix together and not make a white snake, right?
It's just like real estate. When you do complete a job, we send the person in, the worker in, to look at the touches, the little finishing touches to make to close the project, to make it done. That's the key to it, you know. And that's yellow. Just so happen to be one of those. It could be black pastel for that matter. You know what I mean? I love black pastel. There's different types of black pastel. There's Barnhart. There's Leeson line. There's all different types. It's the look that you're trying to reach out for. I think to me, that's what I would be focusing on more. You know, like what kind of what is the contrast going to look like? Just overall, you know, everybody can use chocolate. You know, it's different types of chocolate. We all know that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's going to fit in what you're trying to do? Do you want
Wookie for the win? Wookie for the win.
It's just different people choose to use different avenues. You know, confusion, acid. You know what I mean? Banana, core glow, same thing. You know. That's how I look. And I argue with my friend, go off subject for a little bit, back to Ash. You know, he looked at some of his recessive projects. I said, well, you know, Ash, do you really realize it's going to take you about 4 or 5 years to get what you're trying to get accomplished? He was trying to make the tri-stripe hypo puzzle. And I told him, it's going to take you 4 years, 5 years to make that. Do you realize that? Yeah, and I don't think people think about that before they go out here and try to create these animals. You know what I mean? It's like, he's like, what? It's going to take me, 5 years. I said, bro, it'll take you 5 years to get there. You know what I mean? It's just the truth of the matter, you know? So I'd be up for the task when you do decide on going on these projects, you know? They're not easy. It's very difficult. They're pumping them out like they got them, but just like you people see the people triples and the quad, either they're producing a hell of a 1,500 clutches, or I'm sure none of us are producing 400 or 500 clutches. You see, the average person don't.
I don't want to.
Yeah, the average person don't have the means to. And the person that's making those animals really realize it's going to be a tough task to get. You know, that's why they're selling those hats and this and that and the other, because it's gonna take some time. You know, you're gonna miss. Believe that. You know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Can I shout out my 3 real quick?
Yeah, yeah.
Go ahead.
I want to shout out my 3. Ready?
Yeah.
Calico. So agree with that one. Jungle Woma, which not regular Woma, but Jungle Woma that makes the puzzle back. That thing's going to make some fucking crazy combos, but nobody's touching it. And Cryptic, pure Cryptic. Keep your clown peens out of my Cryptic. Those are my 3.
Yeah.
I think I seen a Jungle Warmer pie, and it was crazy.
Hey, put Blackhead in it.
You got me.
I think I seen a Jungle Warmer pie, and that thing was crazy. I liked it.
Yeah, Jungle Woma. I don't know if you've seen the puzzle back. It reduces a lot, so it's akin to, but not, of course, the same as clown. So it reduces everything up to the dorsal. So if you have some really heavy distortion genes and you want to try to like see how you can try to reduce it up and see if you can get some crazy stuff to come down the sides, but nothing at the belly. I think that'll do some really cool things.
Where do you even go about finding Jungle Woman right now, though? Like,
you go on Morph. Go on Morph.
Yeah, you can go on Morph.
You go on MorphMarket. It's on there.
Well, what I'm saying, what I'm saying is, it's not something you hear about all like that often. And how would you know? If
I don't hear
looking at the
anybody
right
talking
thing?
about it. So snatch it up and do some shit. That's
What I'm saying is, how would you know that that's the right thing you're looking at? You get what I'm saying? Like, I mean, besides asking,
how do you know it's Jungle Woma?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you gotta educate yourself on what the gene looks like and like try to find the best looking example. If you look at it and like, this is what I say about things that I want to work. Like, if I look at it and you gotta tell me it's in there, then I don't want it. I don't want you to point at it. I don't want you to point at the 3rd spot up from its asshole and be like, look, that's it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
You see this little spot where it flames up right next to the tail?
Yeah,
That's the indicator.
If I can't see it, then I don't want it, because not only is it not really doing anything that's worth it to me, but I'm not going to be able to ID it in combos. So then I'm the asshole selling the wrong thing. I'm not trying to do that.
That's real.
Yeah.
I respect that.
I'm gonna tell y'all right now.
I remember Mark saying it on a podcast, right? Marcus from Marcus Jane. And he said, if I've got to spend 5 minutes trying to explain to Jane what that gene is doing, that is too long. It's just not worth it, because you should be able to see it off the bat, right? You should be able to instinctively look at it. And DJ, a little bit of an answer to your question, that information button on MorphMarket is pretty good, because it shows all the historic first animals that were made in those projects, and they show you single genes, some simple combos that were made historically and were added to that information button on MorphMarket. That information button is one of the best additions to MorphMarket in the last 2 years.
And then you can see what the actual you can tap on each tab and see what the actual gene looks like at the bare minimum. You know what I mean? And study that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just feel like. Go ahead, B.
No, I was gonna say, how do you decide which is the best expression? Because depending on who you're talking to and how they're working that gene, they might be looking for this specific part of that gene. So if it's all the same gene, like, how do you really decide what's the best expression of that gene to be able to resell it?
Figure out what drew you to it.
Okay.
Breeding and selecting.
Yeah, you have to take into account what other people say, but then at the end, the last decision is like, how does it make you feel? Yeah, how does it make you feel?
It's a preference, but pretty much.
Yeah. Well, you also, and I think that what we always discount is that every animal you put another animal to is going to affect that animal and change the way it looks. So even if you have a normal, think about like a normal female ball python with no heads, and you have 10 of them. they're all going to look slightly different. They're all going to have different things in them because genetically they are different. So you could breed the same male to all of those females and get slightly different looks, because just because that female doesn't have a named morph in her does not mean that she cannot impart her genetics into that pairing. So people, what we call polymorphism is a lot of times we're just looking at these things that aren't named that are in that female. Like, is she slightly darker? Does her pattern drag up by her neck? You know, does she have some flaming, but she's not yellow belly? All those things can pull into your male, whatever he is, and change those combos. And that's going to be the same across the board. So it's not always just like, oh, well, that combo just looks different. No, she has a say too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's whatever your other animal has in it, you got to look for that too.
And one thing
That's a good point.
Head influences has a lot to do with it as well.
Yeah,
I've been looking at that within the last year, how much heads can make a big change in the way your animal look. You know what I mean? Just the head influence.
Yeah. I mean, head clown has a crazy influence.
So you got to really study what you work.
Yeah, Brian says that a lot. That looks better than the visual.
Yeah.
Heads look better than the visuals sometimes.
I say it all the time. I'm not a big recessive guy. I work a couple recessives only. Like, I love the incompletes and the interactions they make.
Yeah.
All right. I got another question.
Sometimes I'm with the head and the visual, and the head looks way better than the visual. We had that with Juan, didn't we, last season, right, Levance? Yeah. He was showing me some animals on Hair Down one Friday night, and he was like, well, there's the visual and there's the head. And I was like, man, I prefer the head than the visual.
Yeah. And it's not that you don't like the visual, it's just you prefer the head. What's wrong with that?
It's what your eye picks up, right? And the detail, the work. And that's another thing. As you become more experienced, your eye picks out different things, because you can't buy that. That experience comes over time. You know, you have to do that. You have to do your time.
Look at Stranger for that matter. Look at how some strangers look different than the other strangers. Some people want a certain looking stranger. You know, it's affordable now when people are getting into the project, but you can clearly see some people's strangers look different than other people's strangers. You know, now you can go by the norm, or you can buy something that you feel like that fits with you. You know, you can get anything you want, but you got to specifically be purchasing those, like I said, those extra little things that's gonna that's gonna alter the look. You know, that's how I see it. You know.
Yeah, don't buy the first one that you find of that genetic. Buy the one that is the best quality. You know, I turn my nose up at some things, and I'm like, no. And when I see the right animal, the right expression, what I feel I'm looking for, then it's time to put the cash down.
Okay.
Quality matters.
My next question is: so, what are y'all thoughts on the balance between producing for the pet market versus the high-end collectors?
I don't know how to answer that.
I know how to answer it. I'm just giving I talk a lot, so I'm giving everybody else a chance to talk.
Hey man, talk. Shit, that's what
everything's a whole bag.
I mean, I'm holding back a lot of stuff, but I think that for me personally, I don't really purposefully produce for the pet market at this point. But that doesn't mean that I don't have things that I produce that could be used for pet market stuff. So I tend to accidentally.
They're a byproduct, right?
It's my missus. Yeah, they're my missus. Yeah, they're my missus.
Yeah.
And you can look at that on the positive side too, because on those misses, it's either you can sell some of those and donate that money to USARC, or it's a lot of things you can do for the paper towel or for whatever cleaning process. You know, it's different ways you can add to that as well, you know. But just like most people think that I produce more than 50 clutches or something like that a year, I don't. I try to produce like 30 to no more than 40 clutches a year, and half these other people out here trying to, you know, they're trying to catch. I don't know what they're trying to catch. They're gonna catch a problem, you know.
It's an illusion. It
You know,
is, bro. It's an illusion.
I try to focus in on what's in front of me. You know what I mean? Instead of trying to be, you know, this top guy, because I couldn't even do the 30 and 40 clutches without Miss Wesley and my son and my sister-in-law who helped me. Well, she used to help me a lot. She's on a different venture now, but my theory is that's a lot of work just to have 30 or 40 clutches. So can you imagine having, you know, 60 clutches? Or you're overproducing.
Not me. Not me.
Yeah, it's overproducing, and you're not focusing on the quality of what you're trying to do. You're just trying to fill the pet.
Mhm.
Listen, don't nobody want to spend $20,000 investing in some shit that's gonna be worth about $2,000 in 1 year's time. You
That's
understand?
real.
So you got to be conscious of that too. Be conscious of
Come
what
along.
your collection, because it doesn't make sense to make the hearsay saying, "Well, that's going to be 30 grand." Well, I'm afraid that it doesn't work that way. You know what I'm saying? If it's going to be 30 grand, it's going to be something that you created, not what you've seen somebody else have. Look right now. Look up on MorphMarket. You can see animals that's $30,000, but is that really the number?
Well, not only that, like how many people are out there? How many buyers do we actually have that are spending that money? Because there are people dropping it, but like if we make 10 of them, there's not 10 people spending 30 grand on it. There's maybe 5 or 7 people. You know what I'm saying? Like there's not like that big of a market for like that many.
And if you make 10 of them next year, how many are you going to make the year after, right? And so now you're going to end up tanking your own project, because now you've got all this surplus stock, and the only way to sell it is to bring the price down from 30 to 15.
Yeah, I've seen that with people get a nice mail and they pair it to everything in their collection, and they have 45 clutches of the same thing. And
If I'm spending 30 grand, I want exclusive rights to the project.
Now you sound
hey, you're not going to get that, right?
It sounds like we're on Shark Tank all of a sudden.
He ain't lying.
Because it takes time to get there. I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
If you're going to travel that road and you know it's going to take you 3 to 4 years to get there, you don't want to get there and then all of a sudden what you spent 30 grand on is 5 grand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because some wholesaler got their hand on it and they depreciate the value. You know,
right, and it doesn't have to be sold directly to that person.
Listen, the reason that they have to drop the price like that is because they got overhead and they got to pay their bills. And the difference is nobody told you to go into business to, you know, try to provide the whole community with all those animals, but their overhead is so high, they have to sell them for cheap. You know what I mean? They have to. They can't pay their home bills and they can't pay their snake bills. It's common sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Common sense. And if you're producing what you've seen them produce, then you're helping them advertise their project.
See? That's the point. That's why I would want the exclusive rights.
I said he's gonna say get it back in blood.
No,
what project are y'all the most proud of producing so far?
Nothing I'm talking
Y'all got
about.
quiet.
I've only just
Y'all got quiet as hell.
That's because that's the sign for secret squirrel. Next question.
Like I was literally like, nothing I'm talking about. We good.
I would say for me it would be the collab I did with Ashley so far. I think that collab right there took me ages ahead of where I would be if I was on my own.
It makes sense to do
Definitely.
labs too. If
I
you
would definitely say that.
working with responsible people, I don't,
Mhm.
you know, can't see where you'll go wrong working with somebody that has something that you might not have. You know what I mean? I think it's
You
why.
have to pick the right people to work with, because there's a lot of people out there that in front of your face, they're going to tell you one thing, and then when you're not there, they're going to be talking another thing, right? It's as simple as that. Let's be straight up and honest now.
Secret squirrel.
Who's that?
You ain't no owls in here. Talking about who's that? Post the snake with nothing else. Just post the snake.
I'll say this. You know, one of the projects that I'm most is that the question? What am I?
Yeah.
Saying? Well, you know, like a year and a half ago, I purchased Mandarin. I'm a big fan of Mandarin, you know, and I purchased some Mandarin, but I bought it from the person that I trust because I knew that it was the real deal. Now, people can say, well, they got Mandarin and this and that and the other. Well, I'm not here to confirm or deny. I know what I got. You know what I mean? So I wanted to start off on that level, and I'm excited about working with it. You know, it's another gene or two that I'm looking to add to my collection, but you know, I slept on one of them. One got past me, you know, and normally that don't happen, but I'm lurking, you know. I'm always lurking. I'm excited about the malice as well, you know, of what the top side of that could possibly be. But you know, the verdict is still out on that project too, you know. So I'm looking forward to seeing more and try to add my little spin, you know, onto it as well, you know.
I haven't seen a malice I don't like.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. This is my first year, you know what I mean? Just really dabbling into it and seeing, you know, working and seeing how I could help the project, you know. But
That's nice.
we'll see what happens, you know what I mean? Still a lot of work to be done, and
Since Tommy Secret Squirrel.
yeah, Ash would be more. That's probably a good show to have too. He can tell you more about it than what I can possibly tell you, but I just
Gotcha.
jump in that project, and I want to work to figure the project out before I just jump in and start producing the shit and just popping a million of them out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna do the work first. I feel like.
Last couple of questions. How do y'all balance passion projects with what the market kind of demands?
I give a middle
Passion
finger to the
only.
market demand.
I do all
I do
passion
the-
projects. I don't care about the market.
Yeah, I give a middle finger
Same.
to the market demand.
Yeah, I'm not a market person. Because if you chase the market, you're already 6 years behind. By the time the market's swayed into something, by the time the video drops and says, "Hey, bitches, look at this," and everybody goes, "Oh my god, we have to buy it." The everything that's already that you're thinking about working has already been made and is waiting in the wings, man. It's not. You gotta do your own thing.
They're chasing the money, not the project. You know,
Yep.
they're not really chasing.
That's a losing formula. I'm sorry, that's a losing formula.
Yeah, they're not trying to be.
Passion will shine through in your work. Your passion will shine through in your work.
There you go, right there.
A lot of people ain't trying to do the work, huh?
Got to think outside the box, man.
I mean, yeah, a lot of people won't do the work.
I mean, I know a lot of people down on clown, but you got to think outside the box and make better clowns.
No, thank you.
Yeah. Count me out. Count me out on that.
You're still gonna get a lot of disagreement.
That's a stretch. That's a stretch.
I forgot who's on the panel. My bad.
That's a stretch. That hit me in the jugular right there.
Yeah, I'm a clown.
Right.
A clown person.
You can't say
Yeah.
It ain't nothing but people that wear cryptic.
Hey, listen,
There's cryptic people on this damn panel.
listen. I'm a clown person as well, but after talking to Ashley and looking at what I see that's out there, I became a pure cryptic guy. You know what I mean? I'm always be clown, but I like the pure cryptic way. You know, it makes sense. You know,
It's okay, Levance.
Yeah.
You can say it. Boo, clown.
Haha.
I feel like honestly, this is how I see it. I feel like pure cryptic is gonna touch the clown market either way you look at it, because anything we produce that you see that say my mindset is, if I'm making the same thing in pure cryptic that you're possibly trying to make in clown, I can sell this animal to pure cryptic people or clown people because they're gonna want to make a krypton. So it's still touching both sides of the market, except for I don't have to touch the clown at all.
Right.
So I'm touching two sides of the market, and it's still in the same passion project that you want to be in, and I can still talk passion about clown.
That's what I like about it, because it don't box you in. It allows you to be versatile. And that's the. I'm not saying pure kryptons isn't either, but everybody's racing down the krypton way right now, and pure cryptics is heat. You know what I mean? I like it. Ain't nobody running down there because don't nobody want to do the work.
Yeah, because you have to do the work, because if you don't, there are no animals available in the cryptic project.
And you don't know what it'll look like. You don't know nothing.
Yeah. That's the fun part, though. You get to hatch eggs, and you're just like, what the fuck is this? Like, I showed Levance something the other day, and I'm like, Levance, the only thing this could be is this, this, or this. He's like, that doesn't even look like a ball python. I'm like, I know. What is it? So here we are.
Part about it, you know?
That's what I mean. I got too much of a vision to chase the market.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Try strike.
Like Tilly says, if you follow the market trend, by the time you've bought it, grown it up, and made it, the market moved on anyway. That's now not important to the market anyway.
That's the machine. That's the machine. Got to keep you buying. That's how those kind of things work. You know, they keep it in their pocket, and then they show it to you when you already bought the other stuff. That's why we're still doing, like you said, we're still doing the what's that red spot nose thing, clown? What'd you say? What's that
Pompeii?
one? The Pompeii. That's why we're doing Pompeii Plus, because everybody bought all the Pompeii project shit, and that they're like, okay, well, I spent a lot of money on this. I got to make something. I don't know. Let's add blah blah blah. Right? That's what's happening. So I mean,
blah blah blah. Let's do that. That's a good.
That's a good
I don't follow the clown market that much, so I'm just saying, let's add something. I don't know, mahogany. Pompeii.
So how soon do y'all with your animals that you don't hold back? How soon do you promote those for sale in terms of trying to get rid of them?
Immediately. I think
yeah.
Decision.
Like, do you wait for them to shed to try to get the color to them? Like, what's the sale tactic for those animals? Or do you just say with jeans, I hope you just go?
There has to be a reason why you try to reach out and to make that. So start there. And if you got what you want, then you know everything else is byproduct, right? Make a decision based upon that. Did you get out of the clutch what you want actually bred for? You got to breed. If you can't breed, listen. If you're getting into the ball pythons and you just want to sell snakes, there's enough wholesalers that you can buy wholesale packages from. Let's be realistic. You know what I mean? If you in here trying to create or do something different, then keep yourself small where you can maintain what you got and work from your strengths. Start off with something that you know you like and work in that area and stay in that area, I'm sure when Tinley comes, it's going to be a lot
don't be in a rush.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of animals going to be at Tinley, you know what I mean? Like, the thing about Tinley, and this is my city, you know what I'm saying? And one thing about Tinley is it can almost overwhelm you by looking at so many different snakes. You know, how do you get your head around looking at all those animals? You know what I mean? And that's the tricky.
Lost
Yeah.
when they take.
And being
No, what
around
I'm
all
saying
the
is, all right, so
people.
say
There's a
say
lot
you
of people
say you
there.
make a byproduct animal that you know it's gonna look way better in about 3 sheds. Do you wait that 3 sheds to market it, or do you just market it?
First, you need to send home a healthy snake. That's I would focus on that first. Letting it shed, letting it get comfortable, settle in, get the meals in it, because that's also a part of sending the animal home to a person healthy is more important than anything. You know, a lot of people want to send the damn snakes home with 3 meals in it, and I'm afraid that to me, I disagree with that. You know, and I feel like you got to get at least, you know, a good amount, you know, 100 grams or something, 120 grams into the snake. Let it be thriving. You know what I mean? Like you want the customer to be happy with what they purchasing from you too, not just buying something straight out of the egg.
Yeah.
You know,
Because nobody talks about the animals that they get that are in good condition, but everybody will talk about the animals that they get that are in bad condition.
That's
So you have
right.
to make sure you meet that guy,
and
otherwise
you
people
hear
talk.
stories.
And now you have a reputation.
Yep.
I mean, I try to
Okay.
wait till like at least 125 grams, a couple sheds, so they look nice, healthy, fat.
Yeah.
You know, you throw a rat at them, they're gonna eat it.
Facts.
Think about
Yeah,
the
I'm just asking that part because like I do the same thing in terms of making sure they're eating and all of that, but I haven't produced anything that I know like some of the genes that it takes a minute for you to really be able to tell that is there. Um, if those types of genes are ones that you wait for them to shed out before you try to market it, or if you just
Are you
let it
talking
go.
about like DG or what? I mean, by the time if
Lace.
it's making it to 100 grams, you
Lace.
have a few sheds in
He's
it. I
he's
mean,
he's talking about Mandarin.
Lace.
well, I
Lace.
mean, yeah, you by the time it reaches 125 grams, it should have a few sheds on it. So I mean, those are kind of coupled. Like it's the same answer.
Yes. See?
I mean, it's a couple. You got Mandarin, I think Lace, I think what else? I don't really think DG. I think DG is pretty clean already, but I
Yeah.
think it does get better with the more sheds and stuff like that. But I'm just wondering, once you do hit them types of animals, do you wait a little longer to make your pictures pop more, or if you could just run with it because you know it's there?
I do it because I might want to hold it back.
I mean, if
Same.
I've made the decision,
That's
if I've made the
that's my
decision that it's, if I've made the decision it's going to go, then it's just gonna. I'm going to snap a picture of it. It's going to go. Somebody's going to ask me for another picture anyway. That's the
that's
first
true.
thing people are going to ask me. They'll be like, hey, can I see this snake? What it looks like now? Well, how much does it weigh? Da 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 da. So unless you just posted it like a couple days ago, they're going to ask for it. So you may as well just hold it out. And then if
That's
you
true.
end up taking another picture, update your listing at that point in time.
No, that's true. That makes sense.
You also got to be patient when you do decide to put the snake up for sale, because it might not sell for 3 months or 2 months or what have you, you know, because that's just how it goes, you know. But you got to have patience. And I, to me personally, feel like that's good, because then that give that snake a chance to get more meals in it, you know.
Yeah.
So I
All
feel.
right. So final question of the evening. What advice would you give the breeder starting to plan long-term projects?
Get your space together early.
Buy
sure
some racks.
Make sure you have the space.
I would say make sure that you have breeder rodent colonies or somebody that you can afford to feed 60 new mouths on around this season, because those feeders add up quick, and if it gets hot, then you're fucked.
You know, something goes wrong, lose your AC in the middle of summer. You gotta have a
The
backup
water,
plan for your rodents.
water
You're feeding
lines.
those. Yeah, and you're feeding those babies every 5 days. So I mean, like, it's a lot of food.
That's a lot of rats.
It's a lot of food.
Man,
It's a
it
lot of
is.
rats. And so either have your rodents together or have together your other stuff.
If you
Well,
go,
this is
if
starting
you
to play in
don't,
long-term projects.
if you don't feed it, you can't breed it. And
Facts.
what I mean by you're not just feeding them to just make 3 eggs or 2 eggs either. You got to feed your snakes. If you want to be successful, that's the only way you're going to be successful is feeding your snakes healthy animals. Period. Point blank. You know what I mean? You have to feed them.
Two
Mhm.
words for me: patience and strategy. Patience and strategy.
And discipline.
Discipline is
discipline is a
one
big
that
one.
you don't hear
That's a
anybody.
big
Yeah,
one.
that's a huge one.
Yeah, yeah,
I
that's a
mean,
big one.
just to
'Cause a lot
touch
of
back
people
on what
switch
was
up.
said earlier too, is that you're not always going to hit the odds either. So patience
Yeah.
is really really important.
Facts.
Gotta stay
I agree.
in your lane. Stay in your lane.
Facts.
Ain't nothing wrong
I'm
with
learning.
somebody else's and say, "Oh, yeah, that does look nice," but that don't mean you got to jump over in there. You ain't got to
Yeah.
stay in your
You
lane.
I
know,
think that's a lot of problems, bro. Like, I think that's a lot of the problems in the industry. Like, you got your lane and you see something that look nice and you're like, oh, I want to make that too. So now you go. Yeah,
keeping up with
that's
the
the problem,
Joneses.
man.
You
That's
got
the
to
problem.
because
Yeah, that's how you lose focus, and that's going to take you longer now. It's going to stretch the time. That's why you have to be patient and you have to have a strategy and stick to your strategy.
They're not Pokemon cards.
Gotta catch them all. Have them all.
They're not. They're not. I've heard people call them that, but they're not. So I mean, you get enough of these Pokemon cards called ball pythons, you're going to be overwhelmed.
Facts.
Yeah,
Well,
definitely.
all in all, though, I definitely appreciate y'all tapping in tonight. Dope episode, great information. I hope the people that are watching this are definitely learning something tonight. Definitely got a couple of gems out of this whole discussion. Also, I want to give each one of y'all flowers, man, because y'all definitely have been in the game for a long time, and y'all definitely have been, influences in my life. I know, and as well as the other folks that my people with me. I know we definitely take what y'all say and definitely apply it to our lives, especially when it comes to this breeding thing and all that good stuff. So I definitely appreciate the information and the knowledge and the time that y'all spent, learning and doing this thing and actually being able to give back and pour back into us. Definitely appreciate that.
one more thing, DJ. Shout
Go
out
ahead.
to Emily that's coming up in October, and we looking forward to Big Mike coming across the pond. I can't wait to come over, and big shout out to him. I hope
42 days. 42 days till I get on that plane.
So big shout out to one of the biggest shows, and take your time and make sure you follow through on your project. That's all I can say, man.
Hey man, for sure. I appreciate that. Yeah, man, Big Mike, can't wait to see you, man. Definitely gotta make Tinley, man. If y'all ain't make Tinley, y'all sleep.
It's gonna be
Chat.
Hey, y'all
lit.
y'all sleep at the wheel.
Sleep at the wheel. Yes, sir. And replay game, definitely hashtag replay game, man. This was definitely a good episode. If y'all are here, like I said, drop y'all comments on what y'all thought about this episode and the information that was given throughout the episode, and let me know what y'all think so we can continue to keep doing panels like this. I appreciate everybody that came out tonight. And everybody that's tapping in. We're gonna be out of here. We are out.